This is my book report on Elijah of Buxton. I'm going to tell you, so far, as much as I read, the beginning, middle, and the end. Elijah is a firstborn child who was the first child born in the book. Right now, he's the oldest child because everyone else in the book is younger. And so, him and his friend were just wandering around, and they saw two slithering tracks of slithery, gooey tracks of something. So they went to the preacher, and they told him, and he went to check it out. He said they were hoop snakes, and Elijah hated snakes. So he got really fragile and got scared. He asked the preacher what is a hoop snake, and he told him all about what hoop snakes are. And that's the beginning. The preacher found out something odd about Elijah. And Elijah asked the preacher if he can go with his donkey go fishing with his donkey. And the preacher said yes. Then he said, I'll go with you. So he went with him, and Elijah was fine with it. So he went with him and saw Elijah catch 10 fish. He was really surprised. So he said he was going to start treating him like a man. He took 5 of the biggest fish he could find, 3, and fried them. Went to a lady who was the best fryer in the town, and he told her to fry him. So he fried him. I don't know whatever happened to him, but all of those fish are gone. And he was trying to, he didn't really want the preacher to do that because he had to save some for Mr. Leroy, and he didn't want to be too mean because he promised he would give Mr. Leroy 2 fish. So when he went home, the mother fried all the fish, and he was glad that he didn't eat the fish that were left over for Mr. Leroy. And that's the that I was reading so far, was when the part they started school. They started school, and days passed, and one day, the preacher wrote on the board what they were going to learn. And Elijah's friend was sitting there like something really surprising happened. So Elijah asked him what was wrong, and he showed him the board, and he acted the same because he told him all about it. His friend told Elijah all about them. And so the next day, when they came, them two were the only two who knew what was going to happen. But when the preacher saw him smiling like that, he pulled him, got his ear, and everyone was panicked. Everyone was about to run out, and the preacher said, "Get back in your seats." And everyone sat in their seats, and the little boy still ran out. And then Mr. Leroy came back, telling the boy to never run out of the class. And Mr. Leroy saw the preacher twisting his ear, and he just went out of the room. He didn't ask what happened or anything. And that's the end.